here's the water. No matter what, I'm going to be true to my word. I be true to the role. I'm not going to do anything cheap. So, work. I expect you to.
Two of them tonight.
Okay.
We're in BannerVille. We're making history. Feels like a historic night. Feels like one of those nights that I'm about to walk through that curtain tonight and prove once again that I am one of the greatest to do this in Pennsylvania. And it doesn't matter what you throw at me. You can throw at me no rules. You can throw me at the rules. You can throw me anything. I have shown, I have proven since day one in this business, I can take whatever is handed to me. Tonight, I was given the opportunity by the higher-ups here at HWF Championship Wrestling to wrestle for a championship that has never made, it's never made a debut. It's never seen the light of day. But tonight it does. Live here in the BannerVille Firehouse right off Stage Road in McClure, Pennsylvania. I, Matt TRK Silks, will walk out of this establishment. I will return home to 4th Street in Lewistown, Pennsylvania with 2 championship titles. Now, I know the hurdles that I have to jump. I know the different caution signs that have been thrown my way over these last 20 years, Edward James. It's no secret. We have had an unmatched rivalry. We have been chasing each other all over the place. And I know that you got into this before I did, but I was the one that took the leap of faith. I was the one that took the step. And that's why you call me coach. That's why you call me trainer. And tonight, the BannerVille Firehouse, the crew, and the fans, they will call me TRK 2 belts. And do you know what HWF will call me? The new HWF Unified Heavyweight Champion. I'll see you out there.
Introducing next, he is the HWF World Heavyweight Champion, Matt TRK Silks.
In our main event, for the very first NCW event, bringing down the house, we have a match for a brand new championship, a new division in the HWF family, as NCW is the developmental territory and sister promotion of HWF. And this is for the Xtreme Heavyweight Championship. This is a brand new division looking to bring the violence and unleash that violence in the HWF and NCW rosters. No rope breaks, defended anytime, anywhere, and falls count anywhere.
As we heard at the beginning of the show, this match between Edward James and Matt TRK Silks is a third meeting between these two. They faced off at HWF at Animosity on May 7th. Then they faced off later on in the bull rope match. And now they took it to the trifecta in a hardcore match that Edward James is 0-2 against Matt TRK Silks. Do you think tonight Edward James could have TRK's number?
I think if there's ever been an opportunity for Edward James to beat Matt Silks, it's tonight, as the incredibly sadistic, silent but violent may find his voice in this Xtreme Championship division.
Edward James now just is running away from TRK early on in this match, trying to get her hand just straight penalty kick to the rib cage.
Edward James luring Matt Silks in. Edward James has been feeling shame. Shame after losing 2 matches straight to Matt Silks, especially when Edward James was undefeated in 2022 until his losses to Matt Silks, the only man who has had James's number.
Yeah, they faced off, and then with no help of the felony or anybody people getting involved in the match, but TRK still picked up the victory. And then they faced off in the Borat match, which TRK was successful in that, defending his World Heavyweight Championship against them.
And now we see weapons begin to be used. All are legal in this match. Edward James introduced the plunder, but TRK Matt Silks using it to great effect so far.
Now, early on today, I sat down with Matt TRK Silks, and this is his first hardcore match in 10 years. Now,
TRK made sure to say he is not a hardcore wrestler. This match is outside of Matt Silks' expertise, but Silks really looking to walk out of here with 2 belts around his waist.
Now you see he's going back in the ring looking for another barrage of weapons, picks up a pie pan.
You know, Silks comes out to a song written by his friend, his mentor, the person he wrestles in honor of, Chip Jabs. The song is called The Addiction. This match is feeding Matt Silks' addiction for championships. He's become obsessed with gold as he smacks the pie tin into the face of Edward James.
Edward James is already looking in a bad way early on in this matchup. Just getting his face pummeled in with repeated shots by different variation of weapons by TRK here.
This has been one of the biggest rivalries of either man's career. 2 of them friends in childhood and bitter rivalries bordering on blood enemies over the course of their professional life. And now he's got a baking tin and he's raking it across the shoulder blades, and totally legal, that back mule kick. And now Edward James can't possibly be going for a pile driver right on the chair.
Power driver. He just made TRK give the charity as he pulled Charity up from underneath the ring and spiked him headfirst onto the chair.
Let's be clear, Charity in this case is the pet name given to Edward James' pet chair. That's right, he keeps, he talks, he feeds, he loves a chair named Charity. He's also got a bat named Barbie, and I don't know what he just named that thing, but he just took it across the skull of the Ring King.
Just hit him right in the head with a, my guess is a DVD player, because it's right out here in front of us. A thunder shot just sends TRK reeling.
Not only is this match for a title, there are implications for the main event of HWF Summerfest taking place Sunday, the 31st of July, as a ladder is being introduced into the fire hall. We already saw one half of Felony, Steve Steele, defeat Ray Scott. It's going to be Scott and Matt TRK Silks against Felony. Can Bellamy pull off the clean sweep tonight? And if so, what does that do to Scott and Silk's chances going in to Summerfest, the Killer Andy Hoare?
That will totally put the momentum in the favor of Felony. If Edward James can put away TRK here tonight, the momentum will be obviously in their corner for Summerfest in just 3 weeks' time.
These two jockeying for position, and a brutal landing as the spine of Edward James didn't hit the flush front of the ladder, but instead landed right on the incredibly painful edge. The corner is always the most painful part of a structure with the least give, and bone just slammed straight into steel.
And then obviously, as you can tell, steel wins every time. But the only downside is Edward James is hailed from Smith Grove Sanitarium. I mean, that just proves how sick and twisted of a man that he could be. He lives for the violence. So this pretty much is like a walk in the park for this man, because no matter how much damage he takes, it just feeds into his confidence even more.
Both men have taken shots that would lay a normal human being low, but under these circumstances, with this amount of bad blood between these two, they're not human. They're running on pure spite, as draped over Matt Silks was Edward James, trying desperately to end this and take home a championship.
Yeah, this here is for the Extreme Heavyweight Championship, a new championship here in NCW and HWF. And Edward James is looking to solidify his name in the history books as the inaugural champion here tonight. Now, TRK is our World Heavyweight Champion for HWF.
And that title is not on the line, to be clear. The HWF World Championship, despite being worn to the ring by Matt Silks, is not on the line. What is on the line is the brand new Extreme Championship. And we saw these two go up against each other in a bull rope match. Matt Silks had great success in that match. So you see, he's bringing what already brought him to the dance back in.
You see Edward James in the corner, begging for mercy here from TRK, not to take that bull rope to him. Just a whip.
Just whipping that rope across the flesh of Edward James, and now attaching the rope to James' arm, looking to reprise his previous victory and trying to hog tie James.
Hog ties him up. Flips him over. Bull rope in hand, just makes him just flip over onto the spine in the middle of the ring.
Being slammed on your back is going to hurt no matter what, but being flipped by a rope in between your legs, rug burn all over your nether regions, I mean, that is just the worst way in the world to do it, as Matt TRK Silks is currently taking advantage of all the latitude the Extreme Championship has to offer. Nitrous Championship Wrestling has said it plans to be a little bit more hardcore than HWF, and it is certainly proving to be the case here in this very first main event of NCW history.
You see him just choking Edward James with the bull rope. Now repeated shots. TRK has obviously the upper hand. Edward James, this is his forte as Extreme rules, but he seems to be reeling here early on in this match.
The most dangerous part of the bull rope is the cowbell, and it looks like Matt TRK Silks, in addition to being a professional wrestler, may well be a big fan of the immortal Christopher Walken, as he is saying, "We need more cowbell."
James set him up, just thunder shot straight to the dome. James with the cowbell.
Maybe don't fear the Reaper, but certainly fear Matt Silks doing shots that would make Blue Oyster Cult proud.
And again, Edward James rolling to the outside.
Matt Silks taking a moment to rally this crowd here in BannerVille, as Edward James honestly having a moment to recuperate. And that's one of the things that is just part of Matt Silks' personality. He is so obsessed with the approval of these fans. Sometimes it feeds him and it leads him to victory. Sometimes, honestly, it could be a distraction.
Distracted, and what he needs to do, though, is he needs to stop pandering so much to the fans, because he's giving Edward James the chance to recuperate, catch his breath, and think of more sadistic and violent ways that he can make TRK and possibly win this match tonight.
It's barbecue season here in Pennsylvania, but I don't think that's what Matt Silks has planned for that sheet and those tongs. Whenever I see tongs introduced into a professional wrestling match, I get very, very nervous as we see Steve Steele getting involved, and it's completely legal. It's completely legal. We saw Steve Steele take out one of our fans, Willie. I've said before that Steve Steele is going to be a killer. No, not anymore. He's proven he is a killer.
Thunder of shots to TRK. Steve Steele is yet to go down. Third shot is the charm. Sends.
That's just the beginning of what we're going to see at Summerfest when TRK teams with Ray Scott against Steele and Edward James. Make no mistake, we are still in the middle of a championship match, a main event caliber match, as Edward James has had the time to recuperate and find an arsenal in and under the ring of weaponry to whack Matt Silks with.
Hit him with a basket. He's hit him with a child's toy.
Remember, falls count anywhere. This can be defended anytime, any place. This is the inaugural match in this division. An opportunity for violence, and the tongs just met the bangers of the Bangers and Mash.
Right up against the turnpost, just dragging them, just holding them along.
Willie getting to measure of revenge against Steve Steele's felony tag team partner. And here we see Ray Scott coming in to congratulate Willie. Edward James looks out on his feet. And I'm not sure, Matt Silks dribbling a baking sheet in between his legs.
TRK now making his way to the top rope.
We do not see TRK go to the top often, but when he does, he's going for something big and something impressive, getting his balance. Can TRK hit this move?
I have seen that move countless times in the past, ladies and gentlemen. That is called the air filter from TRK. A little nostalgia factor for the ones who, from the back of the day, just.
And TRK is about to go home with 2 belts. TRK 2 belts was almost a thing. Yeah, almost. But he is not able to get it yet. Edward James continuing to put up a fight. Edward James cannot bring himself to lose 3 in a row to Matt Silks. And this has been a very dangerous match for testicles.
Brutal low blow.
Just got to call it like I see it.
Perfect plex. Beautiful fisherman suplex.
Referee slightly out of position, and that may have done some favors to Matt Silks. Edward James could have possibly taken the win.
What a flawless fisherman suplex, going right to the bridge for cover. TRK still remains in this match, but Edward James has the advantage now because that move could have taken the entire the wind out of his sails. And now here is Ken, the kendo stick.
Yeah, he's got a whole menagerie of weapons that he is friends with. It's very disturbing. It's very upsetting. And somehow in pro wrestling, that entitles you to a top spot because Edward James is violent. Edward James is sadistic. And I don't know, Ken may not want to participate. He just kissed Ken. And now Ken just kissed him back.
Just swung. Made for the fences and completely missed. Ricochet. Ken bounced off the ropes and came back and hit Edward James.
When you come for the Ring King, you best not miss. Matt Silks going for 2 belts, and Edward James still in this match.
Edward James kicks out yet again. Just after taking a shot with his own kendo stick, still finds a way to kick out of that near fall there by TRK.
Matt Silks picking up Ken. Here's the thing, I get Barbie and I get Ken. Where does Charity come in?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. It's a scary place in the mind of Edward James.
There's been a very specific psychology to this match. Oh, good gosh. I hope these two were finished procreating because I'm pretty sure that decision has just been made for the both of them.
Repeated low blow shots from Ken the kendo stick. Edward James in a very, very bad way.
These would have been immediate disqualifications times 1,000. Wait a second, not the TV, I could use that.
TRK bringing in the TV.
Oh, come on, Matt.
Don't give Edward James his 50 minutes of fame here. Come on. He doesn't need to be on TV. This isn't reality.
We've seen tables in the past. We've seen doors. We've seen chairs. But now it's about to, Edward James about to be introduced to living color, the television set.
Counter.
And instead, Matt Silks just went through the flat screen.
Spine first. Into the TV. Edward James with the upper hand now. He virtually just said, you play stupid games and win stupid prizes, as TRK just went through a television.
What else could possibly be in the mind of Edward James at this point to introduce into this match, this Extreme Championship match, this very first match in a new division, a new era of violence?
Edward James is looking for something underneath the...
Matt Silks slowly trying to make it to his feet. Silks has been rocked. I'm not sure if there's any bleeding underneath that shirt.
He's looking for something. Shot to the midsection. Just Edward James is hanging TRK up first over the top rope.
And now
bringing in the door.
I'm pretty sure I know exactly where Edward James went before this match. Pretty sure Edward James made a quick Home Depot run, and now a door has entered the ring.
Edward James just throwing chairs, just throwing everything in the ring. He brings in 2 chairs, a door.
You've heard of the forbidden door? This is the exceptionally legal door, because all weapons, all manner of plunder are legal under these rules, as we see Edward James with a big kick to Matt TRK Silks.
Humongous thrust kick. Now something's going on in the sick mind of Edward James, just setting up both chairs.
Edward James setting up some kind of devilish and fiendish contraption, by far the single most sadistic. And now we see Steve Steele has entered the ring. This 2-on-1 is unfair, but entirely possible under these matches.
Edward James setting him up, hoist him up over the shoulders.
Alabama slam through the door. Matt Silks has gone through a television. Matt Silks has gone through a door. Matt Silks has gone through hell. And now Edward James is your champion.
Edward James, ladies and gentlemen, is your new and first ever Extreme Heavyweight Champion.
The Extreme Championship on the line. Matt Silks not able to take 2 belts home. And finally, Edward James has gotten the monkey of the Ring King off his back after 2 straight losses to Matt Silks. Edward James has finally beaten Matt Silks, but what does this mean?
Of the HWF Xtreme Hardcore Championship, Edward James!
The 4 men in the ring are going to face each other in tag team action at Summerfest, HWF Summerfest on the 31st. Steve Steele trying to take property that doesn't belong to him. Steve Steele being the difference maker across this entire evening. Steve Steele is dangerous.
We've witnessed Steve Steele beat up a fan. We have witnessed him help Edward James put the Ring King through a door, just to single-handedly hand his tag partner a championship belt here tonight.
HWF returns with Summerfest as TRK and Ray Scott face off against the 2 men they're facing off in the ring now. Felony, Edward James, and Steve Steele. And then NCW will return for our second event here at the BannerVille Firehouse. We know that Steve Steele and Ray Scott are going against each other. What a night.
Come here.
Steve Steele's very intimidating and looking right at me.
He's standing right in front of us. What do we do?
It's yours.
Matt Silks just handed Edward James the belt, and for whatever animosity there's built up respect, but whatever respect is between TRK and Edward James, Steve Steele feels none of it, because I don't think Steve Steele feels anything, and certainly not pain. What an incredible event. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Andy, for Andy Core.
Thank you, Jason.
I'm Jason Heat. This has been Bringing Down the House with NCW.
I told everybody.
Did everyone have a great time? My name is Jason Heat. I'm one of the voices of HWF and NCW. Thank you so much for coming. Want to let you know, if you did enjoy the show, follow us on social media. HWF presents Summerfest 2022 Felony. These two men, Edward James and Steve Steele, will be in tag team action against Matt TRK Silks and Ray Scott. And you know it's personal now. That happens on the 31st of July in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. And then we will be back here on September 10th for the next NCW event. Thank you all so much. Have a safe ride home. And let me get one more cheer from ya! You're awesome. Thank you, BannerVille.